faster than the speed of sound. At an early age, you wanted to get out to pursue adventures all around. Things got tough sometimes, but it's all good, 'cause Tails is his best friend. He's always there for him. He's his sidekick through bad and good times over and over again. What you see is what you get. Just a guy that loves adventures. It's Sonic the Hedgehog.
And hey everyone, welcome back to the IDW Sonic Rundown. As always, I'm your host, Speed. Welcome back to our co-host, Aaron. What's going on, man?
Living the dream. We are living the dream.
Yeah, you're telling me.
We have a slightly shorter set of comics today. We have 7 comics today in total, covering the end of the Metal Virus Saga. Maybe what comes after. So, I'm excited. I know you're excited. We'll definitely have a lot to talk about once the saga is properly finished. So let's get into it.
Yeah, so let's get into it. Sonic the Hedgehog, issue number 26. Ian Flynn writing, Stanley and Tramontano both did work on the art. So, immediately after the last episode, we open with Tails and Eggman working together to build this makeshift portal generator. They used a bunch of knickknacks like satellite receivers, vacuum vents, all to stabilize these portals, with the warp topaz encased in glass, though Eggman says this is well below his aesthetic standards. Which Tails reminds him, well, right now we're kind of focusing on stability and making sure the island doesn't explode. Which, in the corner, Knuckles freaks out, saying, wait, what? Explode? But it's all good. Flip the switch, all goes off without a hitch, multiple portals are active and working smoothly. Which, Sonic comes back running in just in time to give the orders on who takes on which of the Deadly Six. But we also kind of see Sonic, he kind of stumbles over as he's running. He's dazed, out of breath. We're there. We're kind of at the breaking point for Sonic, aren't we?
We're at the breaking point. You can see it in his eyes in the further panels that follow. So the team begins to strategize as Sonic directs everyone to go into their respective teams. Tails and Amy will take on Zomom, as he's dumb as a brick and easy to outwit. SBO and Knuckles will go get Zaz, claiming that they are the best trained fighters, so they should be able to overcome him with brute strength. To which Knuckles replies, nope. Want to try that again, Knux? That would leave the Master Emerald with Eggman and Metal Sonic. As its guardian, I'm not going to do that. Everyone is going off on suicide missions. You're in no shape to fight. So nope.
Fellas,
okay,
that's actually kind of reasonable, I'm not gonna lie. Eggman is offended that you think I would double-cross you all at this critical juncture. Sonic just takes a look with him. Yeah, no, I'm going with no too. However, SBO says his ninja honor is on the line. Charmy and Vector both face the Zombot hordes on their own, and he must do no less. But he has a tactic in mind anyway. So, with that settled, Silver and Whisper will be fighting Zor. The guy's just weird. Just handle him from a distance. Whisper accepts the order, and Silver himself is very excited to be fighting alongside the guardian angel of the battlefield again. Look at the brightness in his eyes. He's so chipper.
He is very chipper.
Xena, she thinks very highly of herself and will underestimate anyone who comes for her. General, it's going to be risky, but use that to your advantage. And he accepts those orders. But Cream says she wants to go help him too. General says no, this is much too dangerous, and you've been brave enough already. And I will not, cannot lose you too.
Adorable.
Zik, the old guy, will be left for the Babylon Rogues. He's old, but he's crafty. Much more crafty than the Deadly Six themselves. Jet says they'll have no problem with Grandpa, so Storm even saying he's not above hitting an old man. Stay classy, Sonic figures. It's up to Rouge to steal the last 2 emeralds from the Face Ship and Zavok, Eggman says. Once all the emeralds are gathered, Sonic goes super, use the warp topaz to undo the metal virus, lest he succumbs to his infection first.
Don't sound so eager. Your life is on the line, too. Correct. Ergo, Tails, we need to build a treadmill for Sonic. My speed fights the infection more than the motion. Speed isn't doing it anymore, and I'm not risking you collapsing somewhere on the island and waking up a Zombot.
As that happens, Amy calls Rouge for the update. She says Zavok is asking a lot of questions and wants to know where Eggman went, so we gotta make our moves and make them soon. Then, a little further out from the aisle, the refugees are building their campsite. Knuckles and Espio are overseeing them. They note there's really not a lot of people, but Espio says it's honestly a miracle we got this many in the end. But the Deadly Six are hunting the rest of the survivors as we speak. If we fail, which Knuckles stops Espio mid-sentence, you're not gonna fail. If worst comes to worst, I'll look after the survivors. On my honor.
Meanwhile, Eggman is looking into improving the stability of the device as Sonic runs on the treadmill next to an ardent Metal Sonic, before he eyes and glances over at him. You know, in a way, Eggman didn't get a chance to stay reformed. Starlin put him back on that path, but you just had to go back to him, didn't you? You couldn't be like Gemerald or Omega. You just had to be a one-note jerk.
Eggman overheard that and mocked Sonic. Do you really think neutralizing Metal makes him less of a threat? Well, yeah, he had no way to fight. Well, you neutralize Metal's hardware, but his software demands battle and conquest. You removed his means, so his next move was to find a way to become dangerous yet again. Well, we didn't think anyone could restore him. You know, they didn't know about Starline and Eggman's glorious return. And you, Sonic, well, look at you now. And look at Eggman. He got to live a nice, peaceful life as Mr. Tinker, bringing joy to others around you. What a waste, right?
When are you gonna let that go? Not until you get a clue and come around, Doc.
Sonic's not letting it go, huh? Well, pin in that, folks. Pin in that. Don't get too high and mighty on me, Eggman starts. You're the one who spread the metal virus, after all. But yet, Sonic was not the one dumping millions of gallons of goop on people. How much has it mutated from your failed attempts to run it off? How much did you spread it by hitting other Zombots? How many miles of infected grass did you cross? Or cause, rather. Sonic's a little freaked out, but says, Eggman, oh, you're trying to get into my head. Nuh-uh, not gonna work, man, not gonna work. But, you know, he's infected with that little germ of doubt, and that's gonna linger with him long after this is all over. Won't be able to shake it. Sonic says once this is all over, this truce is called off. Well, we never stop being enemies. This is just convenient for me right now. So this is a very interesting conversation. Once again, Sonic's ideology being put to the test.
Against the maniacal Dr. Eggman, who rightfully says that Sonic has indirectly contributed to a large portion of the infection.
Leave a pin in this. We'll come back to it. Well, we then go to the face ship. Zavok looking for Eggman as Orbot reports there's no signs of life from any of his old bases, and he wouldn't be foolish enough to hide on the Lost Hex. Zavok adds, where's the doctor? So, he has Orbot pull up the list of all the old Eggman bases. I don't care how old or obscure or far away. So, pulls up a map, and Zavok sees that all of these are on different planets. I can't get the doctor if he's that far away, but there is something interesting here. What is Angel Island? Oh, then Orbot starts. It's a fascinating place. Let me tell you all about it. It will take some time, though. As they distract Zavok, Cubot takes a call from Rouge. Then Cubot comes back in to warn Zavok there's an alert in the metal virus making thing, and he runs to it thinking it's Sonic sabotaging him. When he leaves the room, Rouge falls from the ceiling, telling them, we gotta move now. Send Amy the coordinates of the Deadly Six. We gotta attack now. As for her, she's still weighing her options on getting the emeralds from Zavok, telling Orbot and Cubot to just keep playing along with him for now. Back on Angel Island, Tails finishes with the coordinates, does a last touch up on the portal apertures with Eggman, and boom, the generators open up, portals to their locations, and Sonic all wishes them luck. Wish I could go along with you guys too.
As the portals are about to be entered, Cream and Gemerald share a quick hug before she runs in, because now she's going to, apparently.
With that perspective being followed, we see them fly into Sunset City. Cream lands in front of Xena, saying that she's been very mean and demands she give up the Chaos Emerald. But Xena calls her a little brat. As for us, she says Cream looks very, very alone right now as she takes command of Gemerald. I don't know what they expected, to be honest. That's kind of a stupid decision. In Vista View, Tails and Amy arrive and find Zomom gouging himself in a restaurant, and Tails and Amy just walk up and approach him. Zomom remembers Tails as Sonic's friend, and he just says, yeah, man. Hey, by the way, Zavok actually sent us. You know, he needs that Chaos Emerald back. But he says, what? No. With it, I can have the Zombots bring me food from all over. And you just interrupted my post-lunch pre-dinner snack. I'm going to crush the both of you. Classic. Lovely.
Yeah, wonderful. These characters have a lot of depth to them. They're great villains.
Love them. Yeah, they're great.
yeah, super great, yeah.
Riverside, Zaz is flying on his moon mech, trying to make the Zombots tear into each other all day, but they don't do any lasting damage. Can't have his blood sports without any blood. But Espio, in camo, is flying underneath his mech, climbing around it to try to snatch the emerald off his chest. But Zaz is actually able to smell him, grasps Espio's arm while he's still camouflaged, and drops Espio in the middle of the Zombot horde. You can't run, and you sure can't hide. Orchardville, Silver, and Whisper see Zor on his owl mech. Silver cannot be precise in grabbing him from this distance, but he can be direct. Give me cover. Then he flies towards Zor, stopping him with ESP, saying he's come from a ruined future made by the selfish ambitions of him and his pack. Give up the emerald, or I will make you pay for the future today. Zor is quite amused at Silver's lines, like he practiced it, and is clearly very excited to learn that his actions lead to a future of ruination. It's all he could ever hope for, yada yada, okay.
Yeah, I'm edgy.
The 2012 Tumblr user.
Yes,
right.
I see. Yeah, right. In Winterberg, Master Zik is commanding more of the Zombots in an army-like fashion before the Babylon Rogues show up on their extreme gear. Before they are promptly taken care of due to the metallic manipulation powers of Zik, and they are surrounded by a bunch of Zombots.
They're ready to fight regardless, leaving Zik to direct Storm and Wave's gear to hit the two of them. Though Jet is able to use his fans to blow Zik off his gear, he's got very good moves for a raisin. I've got you beat. Zik thinks as much, but you got your friends, seeing Storm and Wave surrounded by the Zombot horde. That's the end of issue 26. Alright, clearly a setup issue.
Yeah, there's not a lot going on here. So if we sounded a little disinterested, it's mainly just because it's setup, which is fine. You know, sometimes you gotta have setup comics, but yeah. We'll just move right into 27 then.
Flynn is the writer. Stanley and Thomas both worked on the art. So back at it, in Vista View, Amy and Tails are on the run from Zomom attacking them, and Amy's surprised he can move so fast. And Tails just says, like, no, just keep running. But Amy readies her hammer, not waiting to get it out, and she's ready to end this nightmare. And she goes right for the mouth for Zomom, and does stop him in place, but he's kind of trying to eat her hammer. Like, it's got a weird flavor, and Amy's like trying to yank it out of his mouth. So, okay. That's sure.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess, I mean, we kind of talked about it, but like,
it's fair. I understand.
These guys just suck.
I get the purpose. I understand why they're here. But anyway, so Tails leads to bonk him on the head, spits out the hammer, says he's gonna chew him extra hard before he swallows, which Amy thinks he's supposed to be being metaphorical, but Tails says, why bother with us? Well, you can have my lunch, buddy. They dropped it while you were chasing us, which is too bad, man. It looked pretty yummy. Hey. And that makes them pretty distracted and goes to look for it. That gives Amy and Tails time to re-strategize. He's too strong to take down and too stupid to outwit. Sonic made this look a lot easier before. Well, Amy figures he's pretty distracted, so maybe we can draw attention away from him while the other grabs the emerald. Tails thinks it's risky, but worth the shot. Then, Zomom finds out there in fact was no lunch. They lied to him. He is hangry now, and directs the Zombots to attack Tails and Amy. Tails then tries taking Amy up to higher ground, but that's not working because the Zombots are now capable of climbing the walls to the rooftops. Fun.
Yeah, absolutely. So back at Sunset City, Xena is controlling Gemerald via her metallic manipulation. Cream is a little scared, basically saying, you know, I know you wanted me to stay behind, but it was because you wanted me to be safe, remember? The Gemerald I know is too tough to be pushed around. You have a kind heart. I believe in you, Gemerald. I know you will listen to your heart. As Gemerald approaches before sticking his hand in his ear and breaking the wireless signal receiver to break Xena's control over him.
And results in hugging Cream with a gentle embrace. So, Gemerald cut off the foreign interference, the electromagnetic signals are sent out, and now Xena is a little upset now she has to get her hands dirty, but at least she can have fun with it, and releases strings of energy from her hands to directly control Gemerald's hands and feet, basically making him fight Cream as a puppet. Cream is begging him to fight her, but it's external interference so he can't override, and she ducks a punch across. Then Cream hits a spin dash and placed it directly into Xena, pissing her off that she was hit, which I'm not gonna lie, when I read this, seeing Cream spin dash, it was like a flash in my mind, like saying, oh wait, yeah, she can do that. Right.
Yeah, it's so she can do that in Advance too, but like this is barely if ever brought up. But yeah, she can.
Okay, yeah. I to like kind of like talk about it a little bit more. Sonic and Knuckles and Amy doing spin dashes, like they're animals that can curl up into balls like that. That's natural. That makes sense. But it doesn't really make sense for Tails to do it or Cream.
That's okay. We just
it's moving along.
We're
moving along.
So Xena's a bit flustered that she gets hit as Cream proceeds to say, "I hate fighting. I hate seeing my friends hurt and scared, and I hate how mean you are." Kind of based.
All right, go for it. Leading her to throw her off her strings and throws General into the Zombot crowd, basically just to tear him apart. And Cream just screams at that sight, but is kicked up off the ground, held by the ears by Xena to look on in the crowd. Oh, I know the type of person you are. The good little girl who works so hard to please everyone. You think you're better than me because you got a moral high ground here? Well, look where that got you. And then just starts moving her closer to the Zombot horde, laughing that Cream thought she wanted to be friends with everybody. Yo, fuck her. Fuck her.
Fuck this bitch.
Then in Vista View, Tails and Amy are moving from the Zombot horde chasing them, causing Zombom to bury himself underground to move under the earth. Tails flies the two of them to the top of the town's gate, and he's pretty winded, but he can stand. Amy thinks we gotta keep moving, but actually, Tails says, we're right where we need to be. They wait for Zombom to come in close to the open gate, then at just the right time, they destroy the chain pulleys for the gate, and the gate falls right on top of Zombom.
They quickly pop the emerald out and run away as the Zombot horde goes to infect Zomom. Meanwhile, back in Sunset City, Xena complains that her arm's starting to cramp, but she's done with her as she screams no, and General, in a last-ditch effort, attempts to attack Xena, to which she does, and throws her to the ground.
Xena tries to command General's arms, but he uses his jet to fly around Xena, tie her with her own energy strings, and that leads Cream to snatch the emerald off of her, so she does not have her power anymore, and General approaches her. You hurt Cream. Grabs her by the hair. What is this, like a Mario 64 kind of style swinging around?
Yeah. So long, Game Bowser type beat. Throws her into the crowd of Zombots as her screams echo the battle won. Cream apologizes to General, saying that she got sick.
Yeah, there's a teeny tiny bit of a metal virus on her arm, and you see her trembling. She gives General the emerald back and says, go take it. She's crying her eyes out, saying, I'll just hide my eyes like it's a scary movie. But General just looks at it and chucks it into the portal and picks up Cream and flies her out of the city. And he says he will stay with her until she's better again as her infection spreads.
Real one, real
one, but that was just like Ian's last twist of the knife.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's very good.
And we end on Angel Island. Sonic and Eggman see the worst case scenario. The face ship is approaching the island. Zavox found them. And that's the end of 27.
Oh, no. Oh, they might be fucked. We'll see. Will they be fucked? I don't think they will.
Sonic 28. Sonic issue 28. Flynn wrote, Stanley and Thomas on art. So now with the other half of the Deadly Six. Winterville. Silver is struggling in his fight against Zor, and Whisper's trying to do her best on scout work, which Zor says, are you really from the future, buddy? Spend a lot of time on the Eggnet. I just want to know how far ahead you are. I don't know, a couple 100 years or so? And he is clearly thrilled in his own way. The misery they spread is felt that far out ahead in time. Silver asks, dude, how are you like this? But Zor asks, like, how are you so heroic and selfless, as some light clones of his are holding Silver down? To which Silver, our king, goes off. It's because I have faith in others. I believe things will get better. And I have a guardian angel watching over me. As Whisper fires her Wispon, other Wisps are holding redirection crystals, and the laser not only dissipates the light clones, Silver's freed, and hits Zor directly where the blue Chaos Emerald is on his chest. Silver, my man, world's weakest hope enjoyer.
He is kind of built different. After obtaining the Chaos Emerald, he uses his psychokinesis to instantly crush the owl that Zor is riding on, and he gets sent pummeling to the ground. You can't leave me like this. You're supposed to be heroes. I'm trapped, powerless. This is inhumane. It's perfect. This guy has a really bad fetish, man.
In Riverside, Espio's ducking and weaving around Zaz's mech's ammo, and he orders the Zombots to box him in, but Espio throws a rope kunai and is able to fling himself up to a rooftop. So Zaz is firing more onto the building he's on, and he levels it, and Espio's nowhere to be found. Are you using the lame invisibility trick? Come out here and fight me like a man. In Camo, Espio kicks Zaz in the back, which disorientates him, does some rapid hits on his body, and jumps over and stomps down on his skull. To which that's where Espio reveals himself. Zaz says, "Ooh, that wasn't bad, but Zavok's done worse. You ready for round 2? And he says, "No, I have already won." And he does a little ninjutsu, does some wind summoning to propel him off Zaz's mech, and runs away from rooftop to rooftop. And he shouts, "Oh, come on, get back here. I'll show you the real power of the Chaos Emerald." It is gone, and in its place is left the calling card of the Chaotix. Justice is served.
So, I'll bring it up. The art here in this little section is immaculate. It's really, really fucking good. For this section specifically, it's wonderful.
Oh yeah, and also the calling card has symbols of a bee stinger, headphones, and a shuriken. My boy.
Adorable.
My boy.
Adorable. Yes, absolutely.
And, of course, to put the cherry on top, Espio falls back first into the portal and looks into the Chaos Emerald as he thinks, while I was alone in body, I was not alone in spirit, and sees himself with the reflections of Charmy and Vector. It's a little moment, but it's definitely one of my favorites.
Yeah, it's very, very cute.
And in Winterberg, Jet demands Zik let Wave and Storm go, as they can't really fight back against the Zombots, which Zik chastises him for sacrificing his allies. "You do not do that unless you get the advantage. All I do is utter a single command and you will lost everything. Humor an old man and beg for mercy, will ya? It's been so long since I crushed an enemy under my own heel." But Jet says that he and the Babylon rogues don't give up and we don't lose, and sends a gust of air from his fans. Zik is blown to the ground, which Storm thinks fast and punches Zik in the air, and he flies to the other side, which Wave used the opportunity to catch the green emerald flying with her wrench sword. Wrench sword. What is that thing actually? I
don't know. It's a big ass wrench though. That's what I can tell you.
Zik ends up landing near some Zombots, yelling that they had nothing tactical in there at all. "You brats got lucky." Then back on the ground, Wave gives Jet the emerald and says, "Get out of here. My board was lost to the Zombots, and Storm's was nearly destroyed since he had to use it as a shield. Your air board is the only one left working. Go." But Jet, he ties the emerald down with a little rope and releases his gear into the portal. Wave is surprised he did that, but our boy Jet stances up, says, "Well, look, what he said back there is true. The Babylon Rouge don't lose. And that means all of them. Sonic will get the emerald, he'll do his hero thing, but until then, let's show these Zombots a real challenge." All right, Jet. All right, okay, Jet.
All right. Rare Jet W. Rare Jet W. We do in fact love to see it.
Then on Angel Island, we see everyone comes back out of their portals at the same time. Eggman catches the green emerald and Sonic catches the orange one. Eggman comments how it seems the rogues didn't make it back, and Amy worries about Cream looking at their emerald in distress. But Sonic says, "No, it's okay, Gemerald's with her, so she'll be alright, and we're gonna make things right. We only need 2 more emeralds," Silver starts, "until Sonic can go super and save us all." But Sonic says actually he's been thinking about that. "Silver, in your future, everything's covered in Metal Virus, meaning all this has happened, and we failed. But you came back in time. You make it different by just being here. If we're going to change the future, we're going to need the one thing that wasn't here before. Silver, I need your help to pull this off. Dead in the eyes, tell me what you need to do."
Based. Very based. Very, very, very sick. Tails is panicking as he realizes that the face ship is here as well. Eggman calling into Rouge, telling them, "We're out of time. Whatever you plan to do, just do it."
Then Zavok is taunting Sonic over the mic. "Can you see them from your hiding spots, Sonic? All the faces of the friends you failed to save." As he pulls back a bit, Angel Island, no less beautiful than the Lost Hex, and I cannot wait to bathe it in Metal Virus. But suddenly, the power cuts out. Rouge, stealing the white emerald, the one powering the whole face ship, says she wanted to do this a little more delicately, but brute force works for a brute like you. Tuck and roll, boys! Orbot and Cubot then collapse and roll to the bottom of the face ship. Can't believe this was the best option, Orbot thinks, but Cubot says desperate times call for desperate desperateness.
Rouge spiral dive kicks out of one of the eyes, flies away as Zavok screams no, and the face ship goes down.
Eggman sees that his best effort to date is dashed. Well, Rouge comes back. Sonic asks if, did you know that the Zombots can survive a ship crashing on top of them? Rouge says, yeah, sure, I do my research. With Emerald number 6 secured, we just need to get the last purple one from Zavok, which they plan to dig out of the ashes from the face ship, so Zavok's not going anywhere. But Eggman sees, actually, the guy's coming right for us. And we see him dig his way out of the wreckage, using the Chaos Emerald to transform into his big boy form, really, commanding all the Zombots surrounding him. He pulls from the emerald to breathe fire right on the bottom of Angel Island, as Knuckles is screaming about how this fucking guy spit on his island.
He's not very happy about it. I feel like anyone would not be happy about getting their island spat on. Sonic calls for Tails and Rouge for air support as Silver needs to bring him the emeralds, as Zavok picks up an entire gaggle of Metal Virus victims, most of Sonic's friends, uses the Chaos Emerald to empower them, throws them directly onto Angel Island. As Sonic is staring down, the menace itself and the finale looms just in sight.
Multiple Zombots, including Vector, Shadow, Tangle, many, many others. And also, don't ask me how Zavok wasn't infected. I have no idea.
That's a great question. Whatever. Anyways, yeah, so we're here. This is it. This is the end. Let's finish this.
Oh, yes. It's been a long time coming. It's been a long time coming.
Absolutely.
Sonic number 29. Flynn and Thomas, the creative team.
Knuckles opens us as he says, "Why do you always bring trouble to my island?" I know this looks bad, Knucks, says Sonic. Zavok is charged up on Chaos Emerald energy. He's blasting Angel Island with fireballs, and it looks like he's using his souped-up electromagnetic powers to throw Zombots up here. Literally nowhere left to run. It seems bleak, but I've got a plan. Trust me. You better, Knuckles says, as he whacks Shadow in the face, or I'm so going to haunt you. Yeah.
Knuckles is literally doing the last-ditch effort, and despite knowing full well he would be infected, he's doing what he has to protect the Master Emerald and Angel Island. Sonic follows Knuckles' lead. Silver, come with me, and passes Metal asking for his help too. And Eggman orders he listen to Sonic for now. It's the only way to save me, after all. So Silver and Metal carry Sonic and fly towards Zavok. Though he cannot create any more Metal Virus, he will ensure the Zombots spread throughout the globe. I will see your world grow sick and perish. To which Metal goes for the emerald embedded in Zavok's chest, but responds by sending a fireball toward them. But our boy Metal thinks quick, activates his Black Shield Matrix. Sonic is ultimately grateful he and Tails didn't deactivate him way back when, but Zavok is about to grab them, so they gotta move. To which Silver stops Zavok's hand with an ESP shield, shouting for them to get the emerald. Sonic tells Metal to get him in closer, but Zavok just blows air to push him to the ground. And Sonic's a little dazed, but ends up finding Orbot and Cubot near where he landed. Orbot looks at Sonic and says, "Hey man, your infection does not look good. You better start running." To which Sonic kind of hobbles up and says, "Yeah, that's not really working that much anymore." But it says, no, you misunderstand. I mean run away from them. The Zombots closing in on him. So Sonic thinks, with enough speed, even with enough speed, I can't just run up to the emerald. Just hang on, guys.
As we cut to Tails running away from Cheese and Chocola, Shadow and Knuckles getting into a brawl, Whisper having to confront Tangle, SBO dodging both Vector and Charmy, as Big approaches Dr. Eggman, him screaming before Amy attacks with her Pico Hammer, realizing that it did nothing. As Eggman kicks Amy into Big. Wow, fuck him.
Wow, dude.
Yeah, wow, what a dick move. Saying that, you slowed him down for me. Now he's moving to the shuttle to get out before he slips on Froggy.
Bruh.
And Froggy proceeds to jump on to Eggman.
He screams, "No, not like this. It's what you fucking deserve." We call that instant karma.
Yes, we do. Knuckles is attacking Shadow before he stops. As he has been turned, him and Shadow wander towards Tails, who has been touched by Cheese and Chocola. Sonic is running, or attempting to run, his infection spreading quick as more Zombats touch him, before Metal Sonic, of all people, swipes in to save the day. Sonic is on his last legs, mutters "metal" up as he rockets Sonic upward. Zavok saying, "Accept your fate, Sonic. You have lost, and all machines are mine to control." The infection is taking hold in the most intense way possible. Sonic's whole face almost covered pulls the Chaos Emerald out of Zavok. He's turning. Silver flies in, hands him the emerald. Boom. A golden, glorious light appears as Sonic and Silver are transformed into their super forms.
This is the first time I believe Silver, Super Silver, is being shown in the comics properly. Even back in the day, back in the good old days, we have not seen this. So, very welcome sight to see my boy Silver have his super moment.
Yeah, and I guess this also does confirm that the tint he got in 06, which didn't really look like much of a super form, is his super form. The gold part is, well, he's more like yellow all around, but like the gold fur where his tuft is more of that indicator, I guess.
Yeah, and I believe that's technically a leftover from his beta design from 06 too, so I guess that's a fun way to like incorporate it, I guess.
Absolutely. The infection has been cleared from Sonic, however. Sonic and Silver saying, "All right, ready to save the world?" One sec. Let me take care of him first. Zavok goes for a final punch. "With the last of my strength, I will crush you," as Sonic effortlessly gives basically 1,000 blows to him, completely mogging the shit out of him. Thank you.
Is that why the emeralds were not in Lost World?
Yes.
Yeah, so Zavok is gamered, flung away as he powers down, and, well, Silver thinks, "Hey, that was a little anticlimactic, buddy," but Sonic says, "Hey, we don't have time to be fancy, especially because the Warp Topaz is not handling this power all that well. It's kind of freaking out in his hand." Sonic says, "I'll drive and handle the warp portal. Silver, you pull away the metal virus with your ESP." So Sonic opens a giant portal above their heads, and Silver starts bringing in the metal virus, healing those around the initial area. And now we see various panels. Metal is helping survivors now fully healed. Tails is holding Cheese and Chocola as they're healed, as are Big and Amy. And we see, my favorite ones, Tangle is fully healed, is like, "Hey, why am I back on Angel Island?" As Whisper is in the back, realizes she's okay, and tackles her to the ground in a hug along with her wisps. Now that, my friends, is called character development.
Adorable. We love to see it. We actually love to see it. Vector, Charmy, and Espio are singing the Team Chaotix theme. Eggman is a bit annoyed as Froggy is fully healed and rivets on top of him. Shadow and Knuckles are fighting in midair, right next to the Master Emerald, as Rouge is just kind of laying on top of it, both extremely confused as to what's going on. She says, "The world is about to end. I wanted to spend my last moments with the one I love." On top of the on top of the emerald. Makes sense.
All right, I'll let it slide. Below, the mayor of Windmill Village helps up Vanilla, saying she's gonna be all right. As we hear Cream's voice flying in with Gemerald, he said Cream told her to come, assuming Sonic would succeed. Did I arrive with acceptable punctuality? And we see Vanilla and Cream just crying in each other's arms. Gemerald holding back, saying, "I will wait." Back in the sky, Super Sonic and Super Silver have drained away the metal virus from the area, and Silver just asks Sonic, "Where are you dumping it all?" "I'm putting it where it can't hurt anyone ever again." As we see the portal open in front of the sun, the metal virus burning away as it crosses the portal. Kind of a raw shot, I'm not gonna lie. Pretty sick.
Yeah, it's pretty great. Silver basically says the Warp Topaz isn't going to last much longer. Hang on, we're kicking it into supersonic speed as the rest of the world is drained of the metal virus. The catastrophe almost done. Sonic and Silver are muttering as they try to speak. "How are we doing, Silver? I'm not detecting anymore. We're done. Time to get rid of this." An explosion happens. Massive. as Silver is flung to Angel Island. Amy asks, "Is it over? What happened?" "It's over. We pulled away every bit of the metal virus and destroyed it, but Dr. Starling was right. The warp topaz couldn't handle all that power. Sonic tried to ditch it in the super warp portal, but..."
Our final shot, they look up into the sky. The remains of the warp topaz are a green tear in the sky, and Sonic nowhere to be seen. And that, my friends, ends issue 29. It ends the Metal Virus Saga. I kind of do want to talk about this. This was a long arc, wasn't it?
It is a point of discussion to be made about the fact that the Metal Virus Saga went on for a while. And it was I don't know if I want to call it a complaint, but it was a point of discussion that it felt like the Metal Virus Saga took a little too long for what it was worth. I disagree with this. I think that the arc is paced very well, as it really hits home how bad Sonic kind of fucked up. But I do think it's worth pointing out that, yeah, for a serialized arc, it does feel like it takes a bit.
Yeah, I mean, it took like a year and a half, almost 2 years for the whole thing to completely release. But I will say, I agree, it is perfectly well paced. The whole point is that it is supposed to be a slow burn kind of arc. And I did allude to this before, but I think it bears repeating. The Metal Virus Saga was originally supposed to be an Archie Sonic arc. Supposed to be after issue 300. And my original suspicion was that because of that, you know, when Ian was working on it, he had Sonic Universe to work with, so maybe the story would have been also told in the side issues, so it would have gone a lot faster in Archie. That's a fair assumption, right?
Yeah, I mean, the nature of the arc itself, I feel like the way IDW operates, they wanted it as more of like a slow-paced kind of thing. I feel like for Archie, this arc probably would have gone a lot faster. Maybe 6 to 9 issues at most. But in a way, I'm kind of glad we got the longer form of this, and it's really interesting.
Yeah, it's a perfect character study for Sonic as well. However, I should point out, if this bears to note, while I did assume that, Ian actually said pretty recently that all the stuff in the Metal Virus Saga in IDW was basically new content. He didn't really have that much settled with how he wanted to take Metal Virus Archie, so all of this was like completely new. Nothing was really reused. Although, I will say, like, Spaceship as a distributor very well could have been the Death Egg, you know?
Yeah, exactly. As far as I'm concerned, yeah, I imagine the base concept was sort of there, but they kind of just worked in all the other stuff just as we go all along. So yeah, I mean, great fucking arc. Some incredible moments. The Deadly Six suck. I think that kind of goes without saying, but they served their purpose. But otherwise, I mean, after Don't Call It a Comeback, right, which is what I like to affectionately call the first 12 issues of IDW, I think that Metal Virus serves its purpose as a proper introduction to IDW and what they're going to try and do, aside for some very light character blunders. Shadow.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Anyways... yeah, so we're done.
Yep.
So what happens in the aftermath? I think we gotta find that out.
Yeah, we will see that right up here. Sonic the Hedgehog issue 30. Flynn the writer and Tramontano the artist. We start with a little bit of a recap. You know, Sonic and Silver just defeated all the Zombots, destroyed the Metal Virus Saga. With Knuckles, he thinks, God, Sonic, man. That guy's just being dramatic. Any minute now, this guy's gonna fly down all golden and smug. Any minute now. Holding his pose, looking into the sky. Amy asked Tails, you know, maybe let's try looking for him. But, you know, since he was in the middle of a chaos energy-fueled warp topaz explosion, Tails does not know where to start. As in the background, Knuckles screams, Sonic, you're making me look bad. Knock it off and come back.
Jesus.
Eggman is seen sneaking away to the shuttle, mocking them for thinking Sonic made the ultimate sacrifice. It's as if I'm the only one who really knows the insufferable blue nuisance. He was careful to stake only the non-essential parts from the shuttle so it could still fly in the end. On the beach, Cream is worried that Sonic didn't fly back down to the island, but Vanilla thinks, you know, it was such a bright light, we probably just didn't see him. But Vanilla asks Gemerald to go look for him. He's unable to move, with Cream seeing why, because Zavok is still there, trying to control him. Cream basically tells him to, like, go away, you and your friends were defeated, so just go home. And he refuses to suffer defeat from Sonic again. I may have lost the power of chaos and the Zombot horde, but I will tear the world apart with my bare hands. Which Cream says, no, Sonic is going to come back to stop you, but he will make sure that she won't be here to welcome his return. Any last words? Welp. She gets some pretty classic last words. Cheese, get him! And Cheese flies in and bombards his head.
Yo, we gotta shout out Cheese for taking a pot shot at a big old annoying red motherfucker. Zavok is a little pissed off as Tangle swoops in to use her tail to wrap him up. Vector, Charmy, and Espio are thrown in via Silver before Whisper comes in with the Wisp-On hammer and locks him down properly.
Silver is trying to hold him down, pushing him to the ground, saying that he's going to be crushed. And he eventually just passes out from the pressure, saying he will have his revenge on them all. Then on Angel Island, Knuckles is still shouting for Sonic to come back down, though Amy takes a breath saying ultimately the crisis was averted, and Tails reminds her, to both their chagrin, Zavok was dealt with, but 5 of the Deadly 6 are still out there, and that is a problem, you know? Which, we have some quick montages. In Riverside, Zaz was attacking people on his mech, but he won't know what to do with them after all being crushed. He's not used to having to think, so he's just gonna head out to look for Zavok. He'll know what to do. Sunset City, Xena is fighting her way out of a crowd of people that won't do what she says, and she has to fight for herself. So just decide calls to quit. Zavok's plan failed, and I will not forget this indignity. Orchardville, Zor is hiding in the woods from people looking for him, feeling a sense of glee from having to hide and sulk in the shadows. It's almost as good as terrorizing the world with the Zombots. Vista View, people are holding the gate down and keeping Zombon pinned, but he eventually overpowers them and releases himself from the gate. Guy wants waffles. Okay, sure. Zick makes a quick escape from Winterberg, thinking them fools for thinking the threat is over, but as of now, the Babylon Rogues have earned their victory. And Storm hugs Jet and Wave for them being alive and not Zombots and all. It's a nice little scene, they're good, Jet's fine, and as for the Raisin, well, he's already on the run if he knows what's good for him. And actually, Wave praises Jet for not running and sticking by them till the end. Very brave and noble of you. Of course, our boy Jet's a little touched with that, but he turns brass saying, of course I do that! The legendary Windmaster is the bravest, most noble leader around. Moment ruined.
Jesus Christ. Why is he like this, man? We go from rare Jet W to common Jet L.
Yeah. Back on Angel Island, the moon rises, and Amy thinks it's time to get back to Restoration HQ if it's still standing. Gotta worry about all them now. But Tails says, well, you really should take a break. Why'd you even take the job on anyway? Well, someone dissolved the resistance on a whim. Knuckles says, hey, the war was over, and my place is here on Angel Island. You could have said no. But Amy, didn't want to leave the people high and dry on the rebuilding. Oh, well, there you go again, trying to help everyone. Speaking of, when are you getting the refugees off the island? Which Tails says he will as soon as he repairs the shuttle and putting back the parts they took from it. They don't see it anywhere until Big points up in the sky. It's flying. And Tails sees Eggman jacked their craft. Damn it.
Knuckles remarks, it's just one headache after another with you people. Speaking of which, as he walks over to the Master Emerald altar, Eggman escaped. Weren't you supposed to be watching him? He says to Rouge, who is casually lying on top of the Master Emerald. You're the guardian of this place. Shouldn't you? Not my problem anymore. Time's up. Scram. Aw, just 5 more minutes. I tolerated you this long since you helped save the world. Don't make me throw you off this island. Rouge gets up, pats Knuckles on the shoulder. You're so stubborn. Until next time, handsome. As Knuckles looks up at the moon. Any minute now.
That's an interesting feel from me.
Yeah, I do like the Knuckles Rouge banter. It's good, it's good, it's good.
And not just the banter, but I just mean, at first Knuckles looking up in the sky, expecting Sonic to come down is like a moment of stubbornness. But then in this moment where he says any minute now, it's like, our boy Knuckles relies on Sonic a little bit. He knows what he's about.
He's like, damn, where is he? Like, is this for real?
It's cute in its own right.
Yeah, it is.
So Gemroll is searching through the rubble and detects an Eggnet signal. That being of Orbot and Cubot, and tells Eggman that they've been discovered. He reads that a retrieval is on the way, which Metal Sonic ends up punching through Gemroll's chest, takes him out, and flies up with him, Orbot, and Cubot. To which Whisper fires her Wisp-On at him, creates his black shield, which Gemroll is pushed off from, but Orbot and Cubot are still on hand as Charmy demands Vector to let him go so he can chase after him. But no, Vector's not letting this happen twice. Silver, go get him. Silver is holding down Zavok and can't split his attention to Metal. Shadow, can you? Oh.
Yeah, well, he actually took off. Most likely for a certain something. Orbot and Cubot head up onto the ship. Good to see you again and in good health, boss. No need to suck up to me, Cubot. Crashing the face ship was a necessary evil. But we already found you a consolation prize, Orbot says. Omega's head. Omega's dialogue. Destroy all Eggman robots. Red drone, use me to bludgeon the yellow drone, then yourself.
Why do I have to hold him? Eggman's joy to have the wayward final model of the E100 line. I know just how to use you against Sonic's friends. Well, no rest for the wicked, eh, boss? We gotta strike while the iron's hot, since Sonic is gone. Gets a little proximity alert. Shadow's closing in on them. Metal, hold him off. And though Shadow's about to launch himself off a cliff to the shuttle, he ends up getting elbowed by Metal. The two grapple each other, they're fighting in the forest, and he does some good damage, so Metal retreats. Shadow has to follow, homing attack him in the back, and then the two are just homing attacking each other back and forth, with Metal releasing an electric wave to knock back Shadow. Common Shadow job, you hate to see it.
Yeah, the average modern Shadow moment. He really is Vegeta.
Shadow's been pushed onto a tree, sees the shuttle start up and begin to fly away, and he's left on the ground. And so we end our story here. In a different locale, the Imperial Palace of the Soul Empire in Blaze's world. It's night. Blaze's guard, Gardone, approaches her. She's on the balcony, gives a nightly security report. All is well, which Blaze hopes to stay the case for a nice while. To which right at that moment, something lands on her lawn, on fire, dead center, leading her to rush out to it, but Gardone says, hold on, it could be dangerous. Well, if this is threatening my home, I'll show it who's dangerous. But they see what's at the crater. To both of their shock, it's a passed out cold Sonic the Hedgehog.
And that is the end of issue 30. We have much more to do in the wake of this, but obviously pretty crazy. Sonic's in Blaze's world? Oh no, what could happen? I do have some thoughts about this.
Sonic the Hedgehog issue 31. Flynn and Thomas are the creative team. The Imperial Palace of the Soul Empire. The sun rises and Blaze and Sonic are having morning tea. And Blaze starts. The Sonic that she knew was a hero. A paragon, swift and free as the wind. Had no master, yet fought for anyone and everyone. There was no challenge too great, no challenge too dire, that would not be met without a little swagger and smile. To which our boy Sonic responds, sounds very impressive. I'd like to meet him one day. So our boy Sonic has lost his memory. Now, I do want to point something out here. Sonic falls from space in a fireball of glory without his memory. I know my man Shadow's punching the air right now.
Damn.
He stole his whole flow, bro.
I didn't even pick up on that, but you're right.
Blaze is clearly frustrated and says, who do you think you are? I'm afraid I haven't the foggiest, your highness. I met the most precocious little girl, though. Called me Mr. Needlemouse. I like the sound of that. So, for the record, he's actually talking about Marine. And I think Ian said it in a Bumblecast. He did write a scene where Marine met Sonic face to face, but had to cut it for time. It happens.
It happens.
Blaze heats the tea back up with her fire. Well, you've had your time to rest and to think. Do you recall anything? Nothing concrete. My memory seemed warped. I dream of sea and sky and golden fire and a sense of falling. That's all. He takes another sip of tea as Blaze wonders what could have happened to him and what's happening on your world now. We shift. The ruins of Restoration HQ. Amy's at her desk, 2 stacks of paperwork on each side, and she's overwhelmed. It's like she's not cut out to lead. She really only handles admin of the Resistance because everyone needed to pitch in. And she only agreed to take over the Restoration because somebody had to. What I wouldn't give to go back to the days where it's just me and Sonic running around from one place to the next and think solemnly on him. He gave his all to save everyone from the metal virus, so she can't give up too. But she just wishes that someone was there to help. Then she hears a knock on the door from Jewel. And asks, hey, is this the right place? And while they introduce each other, says she came because Tangle said you were stressed out from running the Restoration, before, during, and after the plague. Look, I enjoy acts of organizing, cataloging, and honestly, I'm just excited just the thought of bringing this whole room to order. Basically, she's offering Amy a break. I will take over admin for Restoration. Amy then clasps Jewel's hands together and thanks her with the most grateful look in her eyes. Jewel does not realize how strange she was over this whole thing.
Yeah.
Very appreciative for Jewel in this moment, and unlike a certain Echidna, I'll make sure you're prepared before you fully take over. Then she's relaying the primary goal of the Restoration, organizing supplies, the rebuilding, and finding the people who were displaced while they were Zombots. Speaking of which, Echo Mine. where our boys Rough and Tumble were left when they became Zombots. No way out, their bellies are starting to grumble. Looks like this is the end of Rough and Tumble. But Rough ends up feeling something fuzzy touch him. Thinks it's some kind of cave spider, but it's actually Tangle's tail. She and Tails came back to rescue them, and she yanks the two of them up from the bottom of the hole. And they're just like, hey, why are you being so nice to us? And Tangle says Sonic saved the world from the Metal Virus. He gave us all a second chance, so we want to make sure everyone gets to use it. Though they laugh at the idea, and they dash out the mine, they think they got a free pass. Look out, world, the baddest boys are back.
Tangle and Tails say, so back in jail by the end of the day? If they don't get lost in the mines.
As they walk back, Tangle asks Tails, how are you holding out? He says, well, I'm fine. Really, I am. You know, Sonic's beaten the odds 1,000,000 times, and I believe in him. He's never let me down, and until then, he's going to count on us to keep peace. To which Tangle says, oh, I see why Sonic hangs around with you. You're aces, buddy. And he takes the compliment, and Tangle thinks maybe Sonic would want us to celebrate us surviving. Hey, party at my place, and everybody's invited. And it's unfortunate, though. Too bad Silver's already gone home.
We cut back to the future. Silver's flying through the world. Well, I'm back to my own time period. The grass is normal. That's a good sign. But a lot can change in a couple hundred years. Is everything restored? Or, as for the first time, I think ever, Silver's future is good.
He's on a hill. There's a utopia of a city standing proudly. And he looks on and says, thank you, Sonic. We made a good future. May your time stay peaceful, too.
He did it. He got the good future. He did it.
Finally.
Yeah, that's...
I do also kind of want to point something out here. So it seems very like bland and indistinct the way the future is shown just looking like a city. I remember, I think Ian said at one point on the Bumblecats that they actually weren't really allowed to go into Silver's future in detail because they want Sega to establish it themselves. Although, as we just pointed out, they were able to establish Blaze's palace in her world. So I don't know if this is a case of picking and choosing, but regardless, those are the facts.
I am pretty confident that we will eventually get to see this.
Well, back in the present, we move to Eggman's lab, and he's built a new chassis for Omega, slaps his head onto it, and he's still locked in suspended animation. How does it feel to be corporeal again, Omega? Good. Destroying will enhance this by 50%. I bet it would. Too bad I locked down your body. No mayhem for you. Satisfaction decreased by 100%. Well, Eggman walks away. Omega is going to be used for a special project. Welcome back to the Eggman Empire, E123. Hatred processing at peak efficiency. As we move back, a command room, Orbot and Cubot are slacking off until Eggman barges in demanding a report. To which Orbot says there's no good news. The Zombots did a number on all your bases, especially the ones the Deadly Six took over. Well, he now wonders where those miserable Zeti went anyway. Which Orbot reports Zavok was defeated and locked away, while the other 5 remain at large and appear to be laying low. In that case, full steam ahead for the next project. Orbot and Cubot ask, why don't you rest for a while, boss? You worked very hard to doom us all the last time around. Eggman, though, wants to establish his plan before Sonic eventually returns and causes me a headache. Now I have to factor in the Zeti, the conch was lost when Rouge crashed the phase ship, I'm defenseless, and there's also Dr. Starline. Speaking of Dr. Starline, Orbot and Cubot think, hey, whatever happened to that guy in the end? Eggman's no clue. He pushed him into a warp portal. I didn't care where it would have gone to. Guy could be anywhere.
Meanwhile, in a repository of some kind, Starline is speaking to himself. Oh, Doctor, why can't you see the error in your ways? Eggman truly is the genius I thought to him to be, but he's inept in his execution, and Sonic is every bit the powerhouse I expected, but he's just reckless. So much wasted potential, but I have the clarity of vision. I can improve upon that. Fear not, Doctor. I am still loyal, despite your cruelty. I'll conquer the world, surpass you, so that you might learn by example. And when I seat you on the throne of victory, you will acknowledge I was right. You will listen to me, and we will work together as equal minds. So Starline's gone completely off the fucking deep end.
Oh, sweet schizo moment.
I mean, where is the lie? Yeah, so I hope you guys are ready to watch this character do some truly wild shit because, oh boy.
Oh, good lord. And we're not going to have to wait long to see it. Trust me, guys.
No, yes, there's some shit coming up that is... Ha 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 ha. Yes.
Ugh.
You know, if you're up to date, you know.
You know. Well, we move to Seaside City, the Chaotix Detective Agency. They're busy taking constant calls, paperwork running. Vector says they're all obviously missing person cases. Kind of missed the days where we couldn't get work. Until someone knocks on the door, with Vector shouting to hold. I mean, come in, I'll be with you in a minute. An hour, a week? But actually, it's actually the Rabbit family. Cream and Vanilla. They brought them some food filled with homemade snacks to thank them for their hard work to reunite everyone's family. Which Espio accepts, thank you for your kindness, as Charmy was about to start grabbing. As Vanilla comes toward Vector, thank you so much for all your hard work so far. Even at the height of the plague, you all still work so selflessly. And Vector, my man... My man's back. He's so back.
He's in his Riz era, as he says, well, it's all part of being a good detective, ma'am. She replies, please call me Vanilla.
He's
okay.
in! He's in!
He's in, bros. He's in. So this is a pseudo-reference callback. I think this is semi-official confirmation. So in Sonic X, there was a plot point that Vector had a pretty deep thing for Vanilla, and they were sort of hinting at it pretty heavily throughout that series. So I guess this is Ian's way of working it into the canon.
Actually, here's a funny thing. I remember this too. Ian said on a Bumblecast, he got a note from the Sega representative to add that in.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
They asked for it?
Which, you know what? Extremely mythic rare Sega W.
It's so funny. I was about to say extremely rare Sega W, but yeah, no, that's crazy.
Broken clock, twice a day, etc., etc. Our man Vector just shouts, all right, thumbs up, but he gets another call and reminds him, right now we don't even really have time to eat or sleep or even do our jobs, ironically enough. So Vanilla's got some ideas. General, help us out. So General takes the paperwork and creates a database of missing persons. Cheese and Chocola will put the loose files together and away, and she and Cream will man the phones while General processes the information. And so, they basically hang out as the secretaries, as the Chaotix can get onto the field and right to work. Let's go, Chaotix. Time to find those missing people. My man's so in, bro. He's so in.
Meanwhile, in Forest Hill, Rouge comes up to Shadow, who is staring out at a broken platform into the wide array of grass. You can be a pain to track down, you know. Things seem to have settled down. All the bad guys are in hiding. At least they're not causing trouble. But I can't find any sign of Sonic or Omega. Shadow does not reply. Did you hear a word I said? Yes. What's up? You're even more brooding than usual. I'll say it word for word. He said to run. What I thought was cowardice was a warning. That one mistake took me out of the fight. Me, the ultimate life form, miscalculating like that. It's unacceptable.
Okay. I was more kind in this interpretation, as maybe, hey, here's a little potential nugget of character development. Shadow realizing that, hey, maybe this could be the start of Shadow understanding he needs to work together a little bit more. Teamwork is what makes the dream work, etc., right? That's how I want to read it.
Yeah. Rouge, seeing that Shadow's lost in thought, says, if you can't talk about it, I'll leave it be. Shadow quickly turns. I owe him one. Now he's gone. That's all. Rouge has a smirk on her face, giving him a little pat on the shoulder. There's a big party going down at Spiral Hill tonight. Everyone's invited, even you. Pass. Figured, but I thought I'd try.
No fun having Andy.
Yeah, for real.
We see Spiral Hill. The heroes are partying the night away. A lot of interesting background shots from this one. We see Tangle and Jewel using Tangle's tail as a jump rope limbo bar. Espio made a Sonic-shaped ice sculpture. Biggs fishing in the fountain nearby. And Rouge is getting a real nice look inside Jewel's museum. And our boy Jet is in the corner saying, why didn't I get an ice sculpture? I nearly got infected to save all you ingrates. Where's my recognition? With Wavenstorm behind him with plates of food saying, hey man, you're getting free dinner at a show. Which Storm says, oh, we gotta save the world more often. Nearby, Whisper has her wisp on at the ready, is glaring at the rogues. But Tangle says, hey, come on, calm down. I know they attacked us before, and it's true, but they helped to save the world. Let's let them have the night, okay? And let's not start another fight here so soon, okay? And Whisper understands. Tangle brings her in. Let's get some grub for your wisps. They do eat, right? But it ends. A voice shouts, the life of the party is here. Tangle and Whisper gasping in shot. The sight of Dr. Eggman piloting a giant mech, Omega in its chest, breaking his way to crash the party.
Damn, man, it's not even 10 minutes and he's already back. Fuck. Well, yeah, it was a good issue.
That's a nice epilogue.
Well, we do have another epilogue issue to go.
Well, of course, but I mean, it's a nice start to seeing this. I again reiterate, nugget of potential for Shadow character development. I'll take what I can get, even though I am literally digging for crumbs here. But I will say, my man, MILF Hunter Vector, let's fucking go! Let's fucking go!
He's out here on the hunt. We respect the grind.
That's what's up. I think we can end it all off here with Sonic 32, our final issue tonight. Flynn and Thomas, our creative team. Dr. Eggman has crashed the party in Spiral Hill, the greatest of party crashers and the fiercest of party crashers, and pilots this gigantic mech with Omega himself as the engine. And Eggman reveals himself from the cockpit. Thanks for gathering all in one place. It makes destroying you that much easier. And Whisper goes to Amy for orders, but she says, hey, no, I stepped down from the restoration. It's Jewel's job. Then she goes to Jewel for orders, saying, look, I'm just handling the paperwork. You're all the hero types. Around the corner, Wave asks, hey, yo, Jet, what's your call? He says, look, we helped these guys once. Let them handle Eggman. Let's go get some gems and let's get out of here. As in the background, our boy Big is once again calling for Froggy. Sad.
Why does he just dip, bro? It's not hard.
Come on. Vector then starts making the calls. Tails, use your computer thingy to scramble the mech's programming. Flying guys, try busting into the cockpit. Everyone else with me. Aim for the joints and let's bring this thing down. Inside the museum, the rogues see the whole building actually is empty. Ransacked by Rouge just before they got there. And she says, look, I'm gonna return these things as much as it hurts her, but it's worth it just for this fucking moment. Gemral, outside, goes right for the cockpit. Eggman will not menace Cream any further, but Eggman fires some electro shots and binds Gemral, saying now there are two wayward creations of mine back under my control. Though twice the combat and processing power, quadruple power up overall. And fires just a full barrage of laser and missile ammo from the mech. Then we go to Blaze's world for a moment. Sonic's run from the island. He says it was a nice way to spend the evening, but he still has no memory. And then Gardone brings Blaze what she asked for, wondering, do you really think this is gonna help? She says, I'm not sure. Considering the nature of his arrival and memory loss, anything we try will have this degree of uncertainty to it. Case opens up, and inside are the 7 Soul Emeralds. And as their guardian, only Blaze can do what she plans to do. Calls for Sonic to come here. And he says, hey, why do you keep calling me that? But then is amazed at the sight of what he's seeing. Blaze has transformed into her burning form. The power of the Soul Emeralds will help you remember. Gaze into the sacred fire. Have it fuel the winds of your spirits. Recall our past adventures. Recall all the good you have done. Return to us. Return to the hero I know you to be. Sonic freaking out, seeing Blaze on fire, but seeing her in her super form jogs the memory of his own super form, specifically the last time he used it with the power of the Warp Topaz.
Okay, well, this plot line got resolved relatively quickly.
A little too quickly, in my opinion, but I mean, okay, sure.
I feel like this was obviously very intentionally set up to be a longer, more maybe extensive exploration of some time with Blaze or something relating to that before this deep pivot.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, this feels a little, I don't know, was there some stuff cut or did Sega just said no? I don't know. I couldn't say.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a little bit of a weird situation. I would say that there was either something cut or there was an idea that they couldn't use for some reason. But either way, I mean, it's whatever.
Back in Spiral Hill, Rouge asks Tails if he came up with something, and he says he wrote some code to scramble the systems and eject Gemral. But there's no wireless receiver, so he'll need a hardline to upload it. Well, Rouge says breaking and entering is kind of her thing, so just give me the call. Tails tells her, find an access panel in the back. 3, 2, 1, go! And the two fly up, rush to the back, and the Rouge can tell the handiwork is pretty shoddy. Eggman threw this together in quite a hurry, so he probably didn't bother to hide anything. They find a panel behind a sliding frame, Tails locks right in, and releases General. Cream and Charmy check him, and his systems are rebooting. After hacking in, Tails can tell that Omega is literally the core of the mech, so let's get him out. Then Eggman is a little pissed to see Tails is hacking into his systems, and Eggman pulls out a fucking pistol, bro!
Yeah, he pulls out the GAT, which apparently is strong enough to disintegrate a part of a house.
Yeah, it fires a pretty massive shot of plasma. Eggman, my man, were you really hiding this whole time?
Listen, man, I bet you he hides it in the back of the Eggmobile. It's like when he had the Egg Walker, you know? It's he pulled that shit out on Amy, remember?
Jesus Christ. Also, shoutouts to the rare Rouge Tails interaction.
Yeah, it doesn't happen that often.
Yeah, just interesting to see. After he fired on them, Rouge pulls Tails down to when the shot blasts through the building and atomizes it. Little overkill, man, but Tails manages to bring Omega back online and his secondary programming activates. Must destroy Eggman. Must destroy Eggman's enemies. Warning, Cascade Arrow. Too much to shoot. Too conflicted to aim. And we have a full-page spread. The mech comes down. Eggman firing on Tails as everyone is attacking either high or low. Cheese ends up bonking Eggman over the head, and he's just like, no, enough. I'm done playing around. And he's trying to regain control of Omega. Charmy is trying to call to his basic human senses, but that's when Eggman fully regains control and tries to swipe the broken arm of the mech near Charmy. And now in Blaze's world, she depowers, Sonic is smoldering, and she asks him, how do you feel? Sonic says, honestly, I feel like I did one too many loop-the-loops in a row. Thanks for putting the chili back on my dog, Blaze. He has such a way with words, doesn't he, folks?
He does. He is a very eloquent motherfucker.
He's alright, and Blaze asks, is your world okay? Says, it's funny, but I think it was dicey for a second, but I think me and Silver handled it. And in handling it, you crash landed in my garden with amnesia. Well, come on, I like to make an entrance. Sorry about that, though. And not to sound ungrateful, but I didn't really get to say goodbye, so can you send me home? The homie's gotta be worried, and Blaze says, yeah, I will. And she conjures up some fire. Do give my best to Amy and Cream. And will do, but come visit soon. We miss having you around. And Blaze says, I definitely will. And the fire launches Sonic up into the sky. As for Blaze, pin in that. We'll get back to that.
We will get back to this. This is an important plot point.
Spiral Hill, Eggman has the group cornered, ready to end it all and to raze this town to the ground. Just as a fireball barrels down from the sky, Sonic stepping out says, hey, y'all miss me? Loves to make an entrance, this motherfucker does.
He turns to Tails and Amy, who are in absolute shock of what has just happened, and then turns to Eggman with his eyes squinted, asking, looks like I'm unfashionably late. What's the sitch, bro? Eggman is using Omega as the core for the bigger mech. Got it. Eggman is not pleased by this, saying, no, I had them. I won. As Sonic lays a smackdown, pushes Omega out, and his eyes light up, unleashing stockpiled wrath, and blows the mech to smithereens as Eggman gets out just in time.
Sonic looks over, thanks him for his efforts. Do not patronize me. Well, Eggman, angered Sonic once again came back to ruin my fun. Oh, always, Eggface. Anytime, anywhere. Come a little closer and we'll go another round. To which, where Sonic says that is actually a redraw of the one Stardust Crusaders panel. You know the one. Oh, so you're approaching me.
Oh my god, you're right. Oh my god, wait, you're right. I didn't even realize. That's incredible. Holy shit.
I do want to say, Sonic is in the foreground, so he's drawn in Dio's place. Really makes you think, doesn't it? Eggman breaks a sweat, tells Sonic you're still sore about being infected and you nearly turn into a mindless machine, huh? Yeah, that's on the list. Yeah. So Eggman decides to retreat. I ruined your party. The day is mine. My next sinister plot will be unbeatable. Until next time, you wretched hedgehog. Until next time, Doc. The time after that. Maybe eventually you'll come around. But Sonic ends up being bear hugged by Amy, scared she'd never see him again. Ah, come on. It was just a little cataclysmic reality-bending explosion. I was fine. Blaze says hi, by the way.
Tails jumps in. I knew you'd be back. I knew it. As Tangle asks, yo, are we getting our victorious group hug on? You know it. Yeah, everybody gets in on this. As the entire cast caresses around each other for a big old group hug.
Jewel comes in, though, and says, hey, guys, the town's the town's still on fire, guys. The Sonic says, oh, right, that's an easy fix. You know, your town's pretty prone to invasion, you know. But she insists, well, everything was fine till you showed up, buddy. They all have a little laugh. Amy is impressed with Sonic. He never stops, with Tails saying neither should they. Come on. And the group spends all night putting out the fires. And Sonic lounges on a rooftop, seeing the sunrise, happy to be home and healthy. Hopefully Silver and Blaze can just come back and hang out, not having to deal with some kind of disaster. Well, a new day means new adventures. No more lying around. Time to find out what comes next.
And that's it. That's the end of our comics today.
That's the end of the Metal Virus Saga as well. That was a great epilogue. I love that. And I remember, I didn't mention this on the cover, but issue 31 and 32 are kind of these connecting covers for the A cover. 31 is like all of them celebrating in Spiral Hill, and 32 is Sonic barreling down in the fireball, crash landing through Eggman's mech. Which I remember, I think when this cover was revealed, a lot of people kind of assumed that Sonic would be using the Soul Emeralds to come back, which technically was correct, but people more assumed that we would see a burning Sonic, which would have been really funny.
That would have been peak fiction, not gonna lie. It kind of would have been peak fiction.
Regardless, great story, great end to the show.
I mean, listen, the quality for IDW speaks for itself. It's just, sometimes there's not a lot to talk about, because it's just, what's going on is great. It's just well executed and well done. Can't say it enough. Read these comics for yourself. You'll have a great time.
Yeah, and actually, at the time of this recording, the IDW collection, their hardcover, the third volume is about to come out, which is basically the entirety of the Metal Virus Saga. So that's a high recommend to pick up, in my opinion.
Yeah?
We are going to continue sort of our character dive into Sonic and his ideology of like sort of letting his enemies go to fight another day in the hopes that they just turn around and maybe reform a little bit. But one more very, very, very important thing I need to talk about was that with the end of this issue is the end of Ian as the head writer of Sonic Comics. That's right.
Yes. So unfortunately, but also a little bit fortunately, Ian, at this point in time, is gone. His service, his duty, and what he did for this character and the comics that he was associated with cannot be overstated. Ian is a fucking legend. Now, as we all know, Ian dipped for a very specific reason.
Yeah, he did.
And that was to go and write for Sonic Frontiers. Alongside that, he did, however, leave a very special somebody, the new caretaker of the comics. His own veritable protege, his understudy. One might even say, like a certain other understudy once upon a time. Join us next time on the IDW Sonic Rundown as the era of Evan Stanley begins proper.
And all those details and more will be with us in the next episode. And before we finally shout us out, new patron, new buddy, hardcore, $2 a month. Thank you so much, man, for joining us. Hope you enjoyed the episode. We'll see you next time for what Evan Stanley is cooking up for us.
Absolutely. See ya.
He's got his Sonic's name says, I'll tell you who that is. That is Dr. Eggman, with his evil divider and evil plans. Eggman wants to conquer the world, but the hedgehog won't let that go. Whenever Sonic's anger explodes, his enemies will meet the fury of his aggression. And that will change anyone's perception about him. What to see is what to get. Just a guy that loves adventures. It's Sonic the Hedgehog. And the Rose can't help but feel love for him. He's her superhero, but she's his self-proclaimed girlfriend. He cannot save her, but he will always save her. Whenever something is up, some kind of danger, and the story goes on, it's always super fun.